What up guys, Miguel here from Tech, and Samsung's highly anticipated 2019 flagships are here. That's right, it's Galaxy S10 day. So we've come a long way to get here. From curved displays to variable apertures, Samsung is no stranger when it comes to innovation. But when it came to the S9, it felt a little bit stale in my opinion. It was more like a subtle refresh from the S8. Take a look at the S10 and it sounds like Samsung saying, "We came from the future." Starting off with design, remember when Samsung backs were removable and polycarbonate? And then with the S5, people were saying it looked like a band-aid, especially that copper color. It even turned into a meme. Then came the S6. Samsung finally wanted their flagships to feel a little bit more premium, but didn't want to go for the aluminum industrial feel, nor lose the ability to wireless charge. So then dawned the glass back generation, which allowed Samsung's design language to evolve from pure function to functional form. Now back to the S10. The S10 will notably come in two colors, Prism Black and Prism White. The S10 Plus, on the other hand, will come in both those colors, plus, see what I did there, Prism Green. I'd like to also note that the S10 Plus limited edition will get ceramic black as an exclusive color. They're both 7.8mm thick. The S10 weighs in at 157 grams, while the S10 Plus is at 175 grams. Both devices feature an IP68 rating, which means they're supposed to be water, dust, and sand resistant. And lastly, they both feature that wicked ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner. More on that later. Up top, you get your hybrid SIM and micro SD card slot next to a microphone. Come to the right side, you get the power button pretty high up there. Being left-handed, that is kind of annoying. On the left side, you get the volume rocker and a still natively unmappable Bixby button. Finally, down below, you get a 3.5mm headphone jack, USB Type-C, microphone, and your speaker. Moving on to display. First impressions, wow. Samsung never disappoints when it comes to their panels. The Galaxy S10 and S10 Plus will both be rocking dynamic AMOLED Infinity O displays. And yes, I'm pretty sure O is for that pinhole or cutout where the front camera resides, like we've recently seen on the Nova 4. Although unlike the Nova 4, the S10s have support for HDR10+. The S10's screen size is 6.1 inches at 550 pixels per inch, while the S10 Plus is 6.4 inches at 522 pixels per inch. They both have a Quad HD resolution, but you can go into settings and drop that down to Full HD to save battery life. Also, they come up to a brightness of 800 nits. Like, if I was blind before, oh snap. Now, I'm Daredevil. Let's talk hardware. Both phones will be housing the Exynos 9820 or Qualcomm Snapdragon 855, depending on your region. The Galaxy S10 will come with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage, nothing more and nothing less. They both feel super snappy and lag-free, as most flagships should, especially with those minimalist animations from One UI. Responsiveness is butter. Same goes for the Galaxy S10 Plus, although it will have a limited edition variant exclusive to itself. The Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus Limited Edition gets 12GB of RAM and a whopping 1TB of internal storage. Both devices also feature expandable storage for up to 512GB. But just picture that in your mind for a minute. 1.5TB of storage in the palm of your hands. For battery, the S10 gets a 3,400 mAh battery and the S10 Plus gets a 4,100 mAh battery. And that in itself is pretty sick. Samsung also boasts their adaptive power management, which is basically Samsung's AI optimizing battery usage for longer life. Samsung also debuts their fast wireless charging 2.0 and wireless power share. The latter is Samsung's answer to Huawei's reverse wireless charging. If you want us to do a comparison in a future video, let us know in the comments down below. You can charge any device that supports Qi wireless charging, from other phones, earphones, to smartwatches. There's a wireless charging pad at the back of the phone under the glass that supports wireless power delivery. That means if you were to leave your phone charging overnight, you could leave any device that supports Qi wireless charging on top of your phone. Moving on to software. Out of the box, you get Android 9 Pie with Samsung's new One UI skinned on top. And I must say, this is the best skin from Samsung I've ever had the chance to experience. Screw TouchWiz. It's clean, minimalist, and the colors are just perfect, especially on these new panels. My favorite feature from the new interface is night mode. I'm a sucker for anything night mode. If I had any Samsung device with One UI, I'd just leave that on forever. And it'll probably save you a buttload of battery. Media consumption on this phone is amazing. That awesome display aside, I think half the credit goes to those dope speakers. I mean, the sound that comes from those dual firing speakers are as clean as Fiji water. This is not a video sponsored by Fiji water. But kidding aside, separation from the lows to the highs are just so easy to appreciate, especially coming from a phone. Turn the Dolby Atmos feature you can find in your drop-down menu on, and I'm thinking, I'll binge Netflix until I need to charge it. So, what about that ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner? It's 2019 and this is Samsung's first flagship device to feature an in-display fingerprint scanner. Except the difference with those like the OnePlus 6T was that the sensors being used were optical scanners, thus needing the phone to illuminate the area on the screen so that a tiny camera under the screen could take an image of your fingerprint and compare it to a stored image. The Samsung Galaxy S10 uses an ultrasonic sensor. Ultrasonic sensors create 3D impressions of your scanned finger, making it much more secure than a saved image. Samsung claims it works well with humidity, sunlight, or changes in the ambient temperature. I know for a fact it doesn't work when it's wet, just like any old fingerprint scanner. I'd also like to add that it won't play well with screen protectors, which could be a big problem for a lot of you. So that does beg the question, is it faster though? Well, with a few hours of use, no, it doesn't feel faster than a really good, old-fashioned fingerprint reader. It feels like it takes about a second. And I guess that's fine for now. As consolation, you do get pretty reliable facial recognition as well, which is great. A loading ring forms around the camera cutout to gain your attention when trying to recognize your face, which I thought was a nice touch. And nope, it doesn't work when you aren't looking at it or if your eyes are closed. And finally, what you mobile photographers and cinematographers have been waiting for, the cameras. Samsung calls this their True Vision multi-camera. In terms of hardware, they're both pretty much identical. The rear setup consists of a 16-megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens, a 12-megapixel wide, and a 12-megapixel telephoto. Both 12-megapixel lenses get optical image stabilization. The 12-megapixel wide gets last year's variable aperture, and it's also the only rear lens that gets dual-pixel autofocus. Pinching to zoom in and out on the viewfinder is awesome. It feels seamless just as it should. Flipping to the front of the phone, and there you see the difference. They both get a 10-megapixel front camera with dual-pixel autofocus, capable of taking Ultra HD selfies. But the S10 Plus gets an additional lens for sensing depth. And honestly, it might be a tad bit better at separating your subject from the background, but I can totally live without it. Now going back to the rear, I must say, these phones are packing. Taking on photos first, you get a bunch of options here from Pro to Panorama to funky focus modes and photo filters to beauty filters, AI options, the list goes on. This app is immense. And that really isn't a bad thing. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I actually think that Samsung's doing a great job simplifying a lot more complicated things into one sweet package. The photos themselves come out crispy sharp. Colors are really vibrant, typical Samsung post-processing, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but picture quality is definitely impressive. They really weren't pulling any punches here. Plus, if I really wanted to do everything myself, I just go use Pro mode anyway. Dynamic range is phenomenal, especially in well-lit scenarios. The ultra-wide angle lens is awesome. After using it for a little bit, I'm starting to feel like all flagships of 2019 should be packing an ultra-wide angle lens. Check out some of these quick sample photos. They speak for themselves. Now don't get me started on video. Pro video mode is gone. All you prosumers and mobile cinematographers might have gotten hit by that. But hey, if you really wanted more video functionality, you guys must have heard of Filmic Pro by now. If you haven't, I recommend you check it out. Okay, so just because Pro video mode is gone doesn't mean it takes bad videos. You can shoot Ultra HD video in up to 60 frames per second. You get the option to save your footage as HDR10 Plus videos, and that triple lens setup is just spectacular. You even get that tracking autofocus feature that works quite adequately. So for the S10 and S10 Plus's True Vision multi-camera setup, hardware, post-processing, and machine learning for mobile photography and cinematography have never been better. Samsung definitely was not left behind. I also think that Samsung definitely killed it with this S10 series. But hey, you know what they say, when it comes to creating quality content, it's never really about the gear. Alright, so that was our quick look at the Galaxy S10 and S10 Plus. And Samsung came into 2019 with a bang, and it's got me really excited. I can't wait to see what the competition has up its sleeve. Oh, and did you guys hear about their little brother, the Galaxy S10e? Check out Joey's hands-on review of the Galaxy S10 and S10 Plus's little brother right here. You can find pricing for the Galaxy S10 and S10 Plus in the description box below. Let's wrap this up. Did you guys think that Samsung innovated enough this year to earn that spot in your pockets? Let us know down in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smack that like button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest content, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get notified of our future uploads. Visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. And again, this has been Miguel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!